In 1953, the Calhoun-Charleston Utility District was formed. And today I have the general manager, Tyler Richesin, here to discuss their past and their future. It's going to be great. I've dealt with him a lot, and he's a real good business guy, easy to deal with.
I did get some flavored ones, I think, at the, I'd bought some that weren't that bad. The regular BC powders are.
I get to where I like to taste
They're
them.
rough.
I like to take them, just kind of give me a little boost.
Yeah, right.
So, Sundays are slow day for me. Are they for you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anybody
hopefully.
complain on those days?
Yeah, we hope they're slow.
I mean, things happen,
oh, yeah,
right?
all the time, 24 hours a day.
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story's about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
I went by your place the other day. Y'all got 2 new buildings, right?
One. The building beside us, do you remember Randall Fisher?
Yeah.
That was his business, and they sold out about a year and a half ago.
Oh, but y'all were in the little bitty building, right?
We tore it down. We tore both the little bitty
Well,
building.
that little bitty building, it worked for a long time, didn't it?
Since 53. Well, no, I'm sorry. They started off in Charleston. They came over that side of the river, I think sometime in the early 60s. So, yes, it did. It worked for a long time.
You ever miss the days? Was it simpler then, or is it about the same?
COVID brought on a whole new animal.
Wonder why that is, because it just doesn't make any sense that it would be better.
The influx of people is all I can, I mean, just the influx, just the different personalities, and people seem to have come up with a bunch of money during COVID. And, a lot of people sold their homes and were relocating. And
So you think your area is growing?
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Where is the growth?
We're seeing in the rural areas, the back 40s of farms, the people that had 10 acres and, split it in half.
So it's not like new subdivisions
Right,
necessarily.
right. It's just all the knobs and the hills is what we call them out there.
Well, you don't have to get power to them. If you did, that'd be a whole nother thing, wouldn't it?
No, we don't. That's voluntary electric.
Because they'd have to run underground power and
Right.
secondary lines and all that, transformers. All you got to do is get water to the road, right?
Right. And there's water's existing on a lot of these roads. What we're running into is a lot of these places these people are buying is hills and knobs and
The pressure or something?
right. A lot of people think just because they've got a water meter that that don't necessarily mean you've got water coming out of your spigot when you turn it on. And some people are, they're having to put in some little private pump systems and stuff to get it up.
I built a house that had to have that. The people lived way up on the hill, and we never really had a clue that there would be a problem, but it was including utilities.
Mm-hmm.
It was just such a high. What is it? What do you have about? I know a pressure regulator on the house is supposed to be set at about 60.
Right.
That's what most faucets and stuff the seals are designed.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize if they've got a leak in their sink, it's because the water pressure regulators gone bad and allowing too much pressure through.
And they do go bad. It seems, it's like refrigerators. The old ones that have been there 100 years work, but as soon as you put a new one in, you got about a 5-year lifespan. From what we see, they're just...
You could make a living going around changing people's pressure regulators.
You can.
If they weren't buried under the house somewhere.
That's right. You can. That's probably one of the biggest wear items we see.
What's the pressure at the road on your water lines?
It varies with elevation, but we try to stay anywhere between 75 and 110.
Well, you look too young to be in charge of this. Is that because I'm getting older?
I feel old, if that counts.
Is Amanda, was she related to Michael?
Yes. Yeah, that's his daughter-in-law.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember going in there. He was as cool as a cucumber, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he didn't get excited about anything.
Not
Mike
a
didn't.
thing. I've sat at that table many times with him and worked out the water line or the water meter or the sewer line or something like that.
Yeah. He was smart.
Oh, yeah, he was
Very smart guy.
Chewed tobacco all the time, didn't he?
Yep.
What,
All the time.
how long had he been there?
I'm thinking it was 33 years.
Wonder if he's related to the Liners gas station here. Any of them?
That I wouldn't know. I
don't know if he is.
I know the people in Calhoun he was related to, but it's outside of that, I'm not sure.
Are you from Cleveland originally or Chattanooga or Charleston?
I'm from Calhoun.
Which area part of Calhoun?
We're on the west side of the interstate. Some call it Lamontville area.
Oh, yeah.
Spring Creek. I lived in Calhoun.
Or Short Creek.
Spring Creek. Short Creek's over there too, but Spring Creek's go over the interstate and go out there and take a ride, first ride, Camp Cherokee area.
Yeah, I know right where the Camp Cherokee is.
Mm-hmm.
And that junction there where the old store is on Lamontville Road.
Yes, yes.
Let's see, what was the name of that? That Yvette was going to renovate that, or some lady was going to renovate it. She sold it to David Benson, I think, recently.
So she didn't renovate it? Okay, I had heard
I think she sold it to David Benson.
Okay.
You know, they bid a pretty good piece of property on the river. It was right on the river.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if it's in the flood zone or not.
Right.
But, so Lamontville Road, are you Lamontville? Well, they have it on Facebook. They have, what do they call it? Lamontville?
Lamontvillians, I think. Lamontvillians, I'm not exactly sure on the
I built
pronunciation.
Alan Jones's house out there on Hiawassee, and I joined that Facebook group just so I could, because they'll monitor traffic and dogs in the road and trees in the road.
Right. Yeah, I joined it a couple of years ago. Which I don't think I'm really considered a Lamontvillian because we, like I say, I'm on County Road 2, and to me, Lamontville doesn't start till you go over the hill, the first big hill there.
So you consider yourself in Charleston, even though you're right off the interstate, I guess.
Well, I actually have a Riceville address. I lived in Calhoun my whole life until about 5 years ago. And I sold my house and moved 9/10 of a mile up the road and got a Riceville address.
That's right, because I think how long ago did you move?
About 5 years ago. Well, I just recently moved again, but...
When was it me and you and that engineer went to lunch? Remember that?
Yes, Ron Key.
Ron Key, yeah.
Been about 2 years ago.
Is it 2 years ago?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So if you're on, so you're, have you ever noticed when you drive down Lamontville Road, do you ever have your phone change the time?
No, I haven't.
If you go over that hill and before you get to the Nip and Sip, you know where the Nip and Sip is, before you get to there, your phone will change time.
Really?
It'll do it every single, only like for a mile. I don't know if the time zone goes through there or something weird.
You might be on Lamontville time.
It might be.
I'd never get back that way. I turn right before you ever go over the hill, and I live back that way, so I very rarely.
And Short Creek, now, was that a community, do you reckon?
The way I've heard it talked about it, yeah, it still is.
I don't know if they ever had a store there or anything.
Had a church. They've got a church.
But it's called the Short. If you live there, you're called in Short Creek community.
Yeah. I think it's just north of Lamontville, up in there. I'm not real sure on that, on the exact location.
Because you can go from there all the way to Athens if you keep going.
Yes.
Like the back way.
Right.
And there's nothing but fields.
Right.
So how far does, wonder what, like in 1953, do y'all treat your own water, or how do y'all know?
We're a purchase water only system. We purchase from Hiawassee Utilities.
Where's Hiawassee Utilities?
Up on the hill in Chatta Valley, the big water plant up there. Cleveland buys a little
Right
from
there
them.
before you go down Upper River Road.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's complicated. I wouldn't know where to start with that stuff.
Yeah.
How did you know how to do all that?
I just spent years beside Liner before
Did you go to school or something?
We have to do some state training and stuff.
I mean, you didn't go to college for civil engineering or nothing like that?
No. No, I was hired as a meter reader. Read meters and fixed water leaks for about 10 years.
How many meter readers do y'all have at the same time?
We are now on a radio read system, so we don't actually have to get out and read meters anymore.
I bet you did a lot of driving during
A
that
lot.
time.
A lot of door opening.
Oh, yeah. You ever find snakes in the meter
Yes,
bases?
spiders, snakes, wasps, honeybees.
What are the odds if you open up a water meter box that you'll be a snake? Is it 1 in 100 or 1 in 10?
No, it's probably more than 1 in 100, but the black widows is about 1 in 1. About every time you open a meter box, you're gonna run into a black widow.
What does a black widow do to you?
I've never been bitten by one. I think they just put a rash on you, and I think they're pretty
I think
nasty.
it stings real. They got
Right.
the red hourglass, right, on the back of
Yes,
them.
yeah. I've always tried to
I
avoid
guess
them.
it's warm in there.
I guess. I'm sure it's cool in the summertime and warm in the winter.
But a snake, if you open one, did you always look in it first? You didn't just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not that trusting. I look at
Do you
them.
ever see a snake say, well, I'm going to guess at this water meter, at this...
I had to on one occasion. Well, it was honeybees. They
Oh,
had
yeah.
built a whole comb or whatever you call it, and
Yeah.
and there was a local beekeeper around there that we called, and he went and whatever you call it, robbed them or whatever you
Yeah.
call it, took them home with him. However, whatever you call that.
How far does, let's see now, so in 1953, they started purchasing water from Hiwassee then?
In 1953, from the best of my knowledge, they operated off of a well.
Because Hiwassee wasn't there.
Right.
They hadn't been there
Right.
20 years.
Right. They were
Where
operating
was the
off
well at?
The one I know of was right there where our building is now. There was an 8-inch well in that building back there with a chlorine tank in there, which I never saw it operate.
I mean, it goes,
Yes. Yeah, an 8-inch well. And they would pull water from there. And supposedly over there by the boat dock in Charleston somewhere, they had a well, little treatment facility. That's eons before my time. I
wonder what they did, just treat it somehow, I guess. 1953 wasn't like ancient years. They
Right.
knew about clean water and stuff like that.
like I said, they had a 1,000-gallon chlorine tank there. And I guess they would just shoot it with chlorine. And I'm not real sure what they done on back in them days on that. And then they started buying water from Cleveland Utilities, hooked into Cleveland on Walker Valley Road down there. And I guess that would have got them up until the 70s, or 80s, whenever it was when Hiwassee came along. And they started purchasing from them.
Is Hiwassee, who owns that?
It's just I'm not sure. You might have did that out.
I've wondered.
I'm not sure on the
I've
owner
wondered
of it.
about that.
Cleveland Utilities operates it on a contract, and like going north, AUB operates their maintenance north line. Best of my understanding, they don't have but 1 or 2 employees. Of course, I'm speaking out of my wheelhouse. I'm not real sure
Yeah.
on their exact
Yeah,
operations.
there aren't
but-
many people there, and I think they might have a third shift or something. Somebody watches over it.
Yeah,
Because
there's
I
somebody
used to
there.
know a guy that said he worked there at nights.
Yeah, there's somebody there 24 hours a day. I do know that, but
You got to have water, don't you? If you didn't have water now, with the septic systems and stuff like that, environmental concerns, you'd just have to buy jugs of water, I guess.
yeah, it's a blessing to be able to have that available.
We don't realize how important water is. They say you can go 40 days without water, right? No, 3 days without water, 40 without food, right?
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a necessity.
But y'all have never thought about getting into sewer. That's a whole nother thing, isn't it?
We do have sewer. We have a little bit of sewer in Charleston.
Who treats it?
Cleveland Utilities. We pump it over the hill to their wastewater plant over there by Olin.
I bet that's expensive.
It's very expensive. It's a hard business to be in.
I bet,
When-
yeah.
As far as monetarily, it's
Now, over on Water Street, there's not any sewer, is there? I was looking at a lot over there the other day, and it doesn't have sewer. Can you get sewer there? Can you run it over there yourself?
so like you.
Yeah,
I mean, you could, yeah, but it's
You'd
the
have
cost
to-
of things these days.
you'd have to get
It's outrageous.
the Hamptons to run it over there or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
y'all would have to approve the layout, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no sewer across into Calhoun. Boy, if you ever got sewer over in Calhoun, it would. If you could get over there and get the police out of there.
Right.
I don't guess they give you a ticket, do they?
No, I mind my P's and Q's, do my 35 through there.
Slam on the brakes,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
You ever eat over at Stacy's over there?
Yes.
Well, I eat over there every Tuesday.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's amazing.
I think they're going to close for the winter.
Okay.
Somebody said they were closing.
Seemed like they did that last year too.
And they may be closed. I don't know when it is. I think it may be already. I'm not sure.
I saw a bunch of. It seemed like they were open last week. So
They were last week because I drove by when
So
they
I
was
don't know.
opening up. And I thought, well, it's not this week. But what days do you go over there?
it's random. We'll just, if we catch a free minute and can take a little longer lunch.
Where else you going to eat up there, right?
Yeah, it's getting slim.
I mean, would you drive to Cleveland to eat, or does that seem like a bit of a haul?
Yeah,
for
we
you?
don't typically do that. We sometimes we take bank deposits and stuff to Athens to the bank, and we'll grab lunch up there
Yeah.
for there. But
Gondolier or something. Is it still up there?
it is.
What about that Greek restaurant up there?
It's really good.
They say it's good. I
It
haven't
is.
ever been there.
I've been there once. I had a salesman come by and take me by there, and it was.
I bet it's pretty expensive.
I wouldn't know. The salesman bought the lunch, so I'm not sure on that, but it was good.
So, did you go to high school in McMinn or where?
I went to Walker Valley.
Are you in your 40s yet?
No, I'll be 33 this year.
33. Well, I remember when I was 33. I feel about your age.
That's good.
I mean, I don't feel my age at all.
Right.
So when you went to Walker, did you know Mike before then, or what? How'd your connection to get a job there?
Well, I actually started mowing their water tanks in high school. I had a little mowing business, and I started mowing their water tanks and got to know them that way. And
Well, that's starting from the ground up, isn't it?
it is.
I mean, you're starting even from the literally not even working for them.
Right. Then they hired me and went and bought me a lawnmower, and I started mowing them on the clock instead of for myself. So
I bet that's a good job.
yes, it is.
Is it harder than you thought it was then, or is it not as hard?
There's a lot more that goes into it than a lot of people think or know.
Did you know that when you went into it, or did Mike just handle it well, or how'd you?
Mike handled it well. I mean, I had my couple of jobs, and from there I didn't really know or pay attention to a whole lot he was doing up until later years.
I guess he evolved into it, which would have made it a little bit easier.
That's right.
The changes and all that
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah, a lot of this stuff when he started wasn't even around. A lot of these
How long had he been there?
33 years, I think is what it was.
And he's been dead, what, about 5, 6 maybe?
He passed away in 21, November of 21.
So not been
3
that
years.
long, is
Going on
it?
3
So
years.
3 years. So that's about 40 years ago, 35 years ago.
Right.
So that'd have been what? What, 1990 or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he was there for a long time.
Do you? How many people would you say y'all served?
We're serving about 1,200 on water, and we've got about 130, 140 sewer customers.
Any thoughts of expanding the sewer, or that's just it?
There's thoughts of it. It's just like everything else. It's when we go to do something like that, we have to burden, as far as the sewer system goes, with 136 customers, we would have to burden 136 customers with these costs. So it's hard to do. It's hard to make it make sense a lot of times on just running for, say, like the Water Street, where you're wanting it, to put in $300,000 or $400,000 worth of infrastructure to catch 4 or 5 houses. It never pays itself back. It never pays off.
I remember running sewer on some subdivisions. It was about $150 a foot. Is that way off now?
I would say you're about $50 shy on gravity.
Because you got a manhole every. If you're just running 100 feet, then you probably have a manhole at the end, and
Right, have
your,
two
your
manholes.
cost of, what do they call that,
Corum.
no, yeah, but what's that, what's that thing when you have, economies of scale? The economies of scale are probably not
Right.
that much just to run it to a house.
Right. Subdivisions are a lot different. You can go short amounts, short runs,
Yeah.
and catch.
Yeah, I guess
Several customers.
any of your expenses, you have to divide them by 130 people,
On sewer, yes.
and that'd be a,
Even on water, even dividing it, trying to figure out how 1,200 people to pay for it is. You got to be careful. You gotta
in
be
what,
careful
1
you do.
year or 5 years or what?
We normally depreciate this stuff over a 30 to 50 year span. So
Wonder how old the Charleston sewer is.
it was put in 01, I believe. There was two phases to it. One of them was about 99, and one of them was about 2001.
So before that, just all those places were on septic tank?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you couldn't get that past today on such small lots.
No. No, they don't like to. They don't like to do it on them small lots anymore.
It makes you wonder where the waste is going.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, why don't it work still?
Right.
Because I don't see sewage on the road.
Right. They worked for years. The septic system.
Because there's not 138 customers. That's just about 5 roads down through there.
Yeah, there's not much to it at all. It's a little bit on the east side, and a little bit on the west side.
Wonder why they decided to do that. Wonder what the initial thoughts for that were.
It was just a grant.
From this, what do they call that, Southeast
Yeah, from the development district.
Development District?
Yeah, they were just granted. I think they were thinking they would get the Highway 11 area and stuff. Maybe some growth would come.
Well, that Southeast Development District, that's a real big help. People don't realize how much they
They
do.
are.
Who's in charge of that now?
I deal with Chuck Hammond.
It used to be Roger York, or was he just the inspector? Remember him?
I don't remember Roger. Mm-mm. I do my dealings with Chuck Hammond.
It used to be Joe Cade. I think he wrote some grants for him.
Okay. I don't remember.
I
his
remember,
name either.
I still get emails from him for something. I don't know. I must have subscribed to something
Right.
sometime.
Yeah.
Can't get it stopped.
Right.
You know what's interesting to me is calling it Calhoun Charleston Utility District, because I guess it's just because it's connected to both. I guess it'd be like Soddy Daisy Utility District or something like that, because it's 2 towns.
Right.
We think of each city or county, it's supposed to be separate, but it's
Right.
nothing that separate.
Yeah, it's an interesting deal. I mean, you've got 2 different tax rates and, two different cities.
That's right. You do have 2 different tax rates, do you?
We got 4 different tax rates: inside city, outside city, and inside city and outside city.
Have you
in Meade
studied
County.
Charleston's history much?
Not a whole lot. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of history in that town.
Maybe more so there than here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the ghost train come through?
No,
Have you ever heard that story?
I'm not.
Well, supposedly that train, if you're over there by the Depot Street,
Mhm.
that the ghost train will come through. You never heard that?
Never heard it.
Well,
I'll have to look into that.
yeah, look into that. And because there was a train, they had a train crash on the old bridge, and it killed a bunch of people. And there was a monk who disappeared, and they never found him. And years later, in the doctor's office there on Depot Street, where the doctor had a skeleton, because back then they had skeletons in their lobbies or whatever, they found the rosary beads of the monk inside the walls of his house. And that's
I'll have to
supposed
look
to be
into that.
true. And they say they buried the rosary beads and the coat in the graveyard across the street.
I'll have to read up on that one.
So that's just one.
Right. Have you been to the Historical Society?
No, I hadn't. They asked me to build that, and that's one of my 10 regrets. I should have just said okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting. You
They
need to stop
they
in
were
there.
going to do this bid process, and I thought, oh man, I don't want to get no on that.
Right.
But Glenn, Carl, didn't Carl donate some money? Carl Collins?
I don't know on that one.
I think he did because he's. Do you know Glenn Ramsey?
Mm-mm.
Well, he was from Charleston, and he lived down there. He just died last week.
Okay,
He was from
I've heard the name.
Calhoun. He was from Stanford or
Stanford.
Sanford, yeah.
Okay. That's over there next to Lamontville.
It's over there next to Lamont,
Yeah.
just north of Calhoun.
Right.
Well, I had that city manager of Calhoun here, or Joe Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on here.
Okay.
He's
He's
really
an interesting guy.
Oh, he's very interesting. He's knowledgeable about the Indian history.
Mhm, yeah.
What's the museum like? Is it a walking thing or what? Or you just look around?
At Charleston?
Yeah.
The walking trail, is that?
Or no, the museum.
Oh, it's kind of walk in there and it's in glass cases and there's some really cool stuff in there. I hadn't spent a whole lot of time in there, but I did stop in there once and I remember reading something about the people walking across the river to go to church from Calhoun, walking over to Charleston.
They probably went across that bridge.
Walk the river.
I think before TVA, that was sort of, you
Right.
could walk through it.
That's what's interesting. Yeah, that's what's cool about it. They knee deep water.
You ever watched that movie Wild River?
Mm-mm.
It's filmed there.
Yeah, they've got Upper River Road, wasn't it, up in there somewhere?
No, it was downtown. You know that guy that washes dishes at Stacy's, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was in the movie.
Really?
He was the boy at the pump pumping the gas.
Okay.
And that building in Charleston that says rafts for rent, but there's no rafts.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the columns on the front. That was a gas station in the film.
Okay. I'll have to watch that one.
You have to watch it.
I've heard about it my whole life. I just never
It's
have.
not a real good movie. It kind of bores you, but you could see downtown Charleston and everything.
Right. They've made that a beautiful place right there where those rafts were. Have you been through there lately?
I think Charleston has some big potential. Glenn Ramsey told me about 10 years ago, he said, Dee, you need to buy something in Charleston. And I said, what? And he said, it doesn't matter. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it doesn't matter. I said, well, what should I do? He said, just buy something in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
He says, it's going to boom. I believe he's right.
Yeah, it's got to. It's coming that way.
Where else can you go?
Cleveland's about out of room.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed places will go where there's less people? They'll levitate to eat where there's people, and they'll levitate to sleep where there's no people.
Yep. And Cleveland's getting to have a lot of people.
You know what's interesting to me? If you're in Charleston, you can just about be in Polk County quicker than you can get
Oh yeah,
to Cleveland.
absolutely.
Just go down Upper River Road, and you're right there in
That's right.
Charleston at Benton Station.
Mm-hmm. Come out right there by the courthouse.
Yep.
In just a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Charleston city limits is before that. Before the courthouse.
Right.
Was your family from there or what?
Yes. Yeah, from Calhoun.
You consider yourself a Calhoun person or a Charleston person? Which would you
Calhoun. That's where I went to elementary school there and lived there.
say? So where is the elementary school? It's right there close to the railroad track, across from the police station?
Go behind the police station. Back down Church Street and it's back in there.
They don't have it anymore, do they?
Yes.
They still do. How many of the students they have, reckon?
I believe it's about 300.
Is that right? On sept? Or you got sewer there, reckon?
No.
How they deal with that?
They've just got a little leach field system they use.
Speaking of Glenn Ramsey, I think that's where he went to school.
Probably high school back then, I guess.
Yeah, it was high school.
He's the one. Is he the one that developed the Mustang Drive area?
Yeah, me and him both did.
Okay.
I developed that
That's where I've
with
seen his
him.
name. I was trying to think where
Yeah.
I've seen his name at. I
Me
guess
and him and John Paul Douglas.
Okay.
He wanted to name it Mustang Drive after the school
Okay.
because Mustangs,
Right.
which I didn't think was that. It didn't make any sense to me, but he did.
Yeah. It's done well. It's stayed full.
Oh, it stayed full, yeah. Yeah, I remember he didn't do nothing, and John Paul didn't do nothing, and I stuck doing it all. Me and Mike,
Yeah.
because he was helping me with the water and everything.
Right.
And the sewer then. It had just gotten sewer. I think that's when we developed that.
Mm-hmm. Now those will be on septic up through there, aren't they?
You're right. But they ran sewer right at the front.
Right at the front of the road.
And we paid, me and Carl Collins paid to have it run down the front to Carl's property. And where it ends,
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Worked out well for you on the new development anyway, didn't
It did, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. That all was doing good, isn't it?
it? Yeah. Looks good.
It looks good. Yeah, it's clean, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
Yeah, no problems. But, yeah, everybody's happy with that, aren't they? They always say, if I mention that, they say, they're thinking I'm talking about the ones on the north, further north, which is different
Right.
than mine.
Right.
Because mine's, I keep it clean.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Or I try to, anyway.
No, it's a good looking little development.
Yeah. You know what else is interesting? It's not interesting, but I always think about when I think of that school in Calhoun. If you go to the end of that road and you take a left and you follow the river and the gravel road, you go past that Methodist church that's like the oldest Methodist church in the area, I think. You keep following that road and it'll lead you to Polk County. Through what they call Linsdale.
Linsdale.
You ever go to Linsdale?
Yeah. It's a gravel road.
It's just a gravel road. And but don't they have a community center of some sort there?
I haven't never seen one.
There's a building there that says community center on it.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering who in the world.
Yeah. I don't know on that one. I hadn't. At the end of that road now, there was a, they called it an Advent home, Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh,
little
yeah,
community.
yeah. Let's see. Didn't somebody buy that recently?
Yes.
And they're turning into something, aren't they?
They're doing like Airbnbs, maybe a wedding venue.
And Crow works there. Do you know Crow?
Mm-mm.
So that's another. Anyway, I think she works there. She's full-blooded Indian. But if you turn to the left, I rode my bike through there one day and I got lost and it got dark. And I was on that gravel road and it started raining. And I ended up in Patty up in Benton.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if I was better off to turn back or keep going.
Right.
That's how I know that old road.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever see a car burning out there, don't stop.
Don't stop. Yeah, I don't believe I would on that one.
What's it like going to a small school like that? Did they have 300 when you were there?
Mm-hmm. It was about the same size.
Does a lot of your people that you went to school with went to Calhoun or went to Walker Valley?
Well, that's the one thing about Calhoun is you kind of break up in the 8th grade, after the 8th grade, because half of them will go to McMinn, half of them will go to Walker Valley.
Yeah, who decides what? I guess it depends on where you're coming from.
Right. Today, I'm not sure. I know back when we did it, I had to apply, and they were only accepting X amount of people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they do now. I know they added on to Walker. They added a lot onto Walker Valley a couple of years ago.
Yeah, wonder where you'd go if you lived in Lamontville.
I mean, you're zoned for McMinn, but that's kind of what we were at from where I lived. It was 15 minutes to Walker Valley or 30 to McMinn High. It was a lot easier to travel to Walker Valley, which I enjoyed Walker Valley.
Yeah, if you go down that other road, it's just right, straight shot, I guess.
Right.
That's where my kids went, to Walker Valley.
Okay. Yeah, we jump on the interstate and go one exit down. You were at school versus McMinn was.
Were you around when they had the big wreck there? I guess you weren't born yet.
I was born, but I don't remember it. It was, I think I was just a couple of days old. It was in 91, right? The blizzard was in 93 and the wreck was in 91.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting old, aren't I?
I don't remember the blizzard either.
Oh, I remember the blizzard. You were born then?
I would have been 2 years old, but I don't remember.
I was about 26 or 7 or something like that. Well, it was bad.
That's
It
what
didn't
I hear.
last but about 4 days, 3
Right.
days. It was,
That's what I hear. A lot of people without power, and
you know, I had built, when I'd been building, and Cleveland Plywood, no, let's see, yeah, Cleveland Plywood had given me a turkey, and Bradley Concrete had given me a ham. And I had them both in the freezer, and it snowed. Nobody could get out. We never lost power. We cooked the ham and we cooked the turkey both.
that worked out
Sat
good.
there
yeah.
for about 4 days, and I thought, boy, this is not too bad.
Right. Yeah, that worked out good for you.
So what else is going on? You glad you got in that business or what?
Yeah, I am.
Seems like it's a little more freedom than it would be if you'd have taken the other route to gone into. I mean, you're sort of your own boss. I mean, you're the main guy, right?
Right. Yeah. We've got a board of commissioners that meet once a month.
Where are they out of? All over or what?
No, they're off of our system, and we just have to rotate. We take 5 from one town, 1 for a year, and then I'm sorry, we got 5 total commissioners. We'll take 3 from Charleston 1 year, 2 from Calhoun, and then the next year we'll do 3 from Charleston, 2 from Calhoun.
How long can they stay on it?
5-year terms.
Well, what made them decide to hire you? Just you were the guy. You were the only one there. Because he died sudden, didn't he?
Right. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did he have? A heart attack, like?
Yeah. It was a Monday morning, just kind of out of nowhere.
How old would he have been?
He would have been like 69 today.
So you just came in. I remember the morning he died. So you just came in. They said, "Hey, he passed away." He passed away that morning. didn't he?
On his way to work, or not in the vehicle, but had gotten up and yeah.
So they said, "Hey, we don't have anybody else. Can you handle this?"
Yeah, pretty much.
What would you think?
We'll give it a try. So,
Well, it's not been that long ago.
no,
You were 30.
right.
So you said, "I'll give it a shot."
Yeah. Yeah, we've done good. I feel like
What's the biggest hurdle that you've got? The biggest thing that kind of keeps you up at night, if there is such a thing.
future, development and where to go from here. That's a hard.
You
hard
mean
animal.
you mean like? But if a subdivision, yeah, because you're not really thinking about sewer. It's just not there. I mean, it's
Right.
just it is what it is, and all you can get is another person tying on.
Right.
140 now instead of 138.
Right.
But the water's the thing, right? How do you keep the pressure up?
It's all a head pressure system, so it goes into a tank that's way up on a ridge, and that just kind of keeps
Where's that at?
right behind the rock quarry in Calhoun. They call it Eldridge Ridge, out by Water Road.
Yeah. Yeah, you take a right and you go to the end. There's nothing out there either, is it?
No.
So that's what gives it the pressure?
Right. Yes.
No pumps to pump it up?
Charleston the same way.
So if you had more water in a higher tower, would you get more pressure?
Yes.
What if you reduce the orifice?
It's a flow issue at that point, not necessarily pressure. But we're just a purchase-only system, so
So you purchase from them and they pump the water into it?
to the tank, yep.
What keeps it from going stale?
We turn it over every 24 hours. So
You mean you use it up?
right. Yeah, luckily nowadays we've got telemetry. We can operate from our phones, and I can tell the pump, quit pumping, and the tank will drain out, and then once that happens, we can fill it back up. All by telephone, internet. And that's just come along the last
Wonder what
7 or
they
8
had
years.
to do. What did Mike have to do? Go out there and check it?
That and before they pumped on a schedule. They would just pump certain hours of the night, and now they pump 24 hours a day. So now we have to have a way to say, hey, we don't need any more water, or we do need water. So that stuff's been awesome. The technology and stuff that's came along in the last 7 or 8 years has been crazy.
So from your phone, you can see how much water's in that tank. What's amazing, isn't it?
It is. see pressures on the
Is
system.
anybody working there now, or just it's on its own?
As far as,
Just anybody working at the tank, or is it just
no, it just does it on its own.
got cameras?
Yes.
You can look on your phone and see if a deer's walking up there or something.
Not necessarily a deer, but I wish. No, we're looking the other way on them, but yeah.
What do you do in your spare time?
Well, I have 2 boys that are 3 and 1, so
3 and 1.
right now it's a matter of survival. Spare time, so. No, we,
Seems like the wife takes care of it a lot till they get about 4,
mm-hmm.
and then it's on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Then when they get 16, it's all you.
you're right. My oldest one, he's at the hip, no matter what I'm doing.
What's their names?
Tripp and Tatum.
Both with a T.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Tyler, Tripp, and Tatum, and you got a dog named what?
Don't have a dog.
No cat?
No cat either.
So, why did you decide to move out to Spring Creek?
Well, my family owned a farm. Like I say, it was about a mile up the road, but it was a Calhoun address, and that's where I grew up at. And then another farm was selling down there, and I wound up buying it. And had to change zip codes, but I'm still in the same.
You're right. You're just
right there.
2 miles away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you do as a hobbies? Anything?
This time of year, I deer hunting. Pretty weather. We ride motorcycles a lot. My oldest boy, he's really into that.
The 3-year-old?
3-year-old, yeah. Yeah.
You don't worry about them breaking their leg or something?
Yeah, but you got to live. He's had his fair share of crashes, but
What kind of bikes he got?
he's got they call it a Stasics.
Uh-huh.
It's an 18 volt.
Like an all-electric?
Mm-hmm. And man, that thing's it's wicked.
Is it real heavy?
No, it's 40, 50 pounds maybe.
How fast will it go? Top speed?
That one will run about 15. He has a gas bike, but he prefers the electric one.
No training wheels?
Mm-mm.
How was he about 2 when he got off the training wheels?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
the way my
2 years
oldest
old.
one was.
Wide open.
It's amazing what we could probably teach him young,
It is.
because they don't know I never learned to swim. I bet you if I was born today and by 2, they could teach me to swim if they wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've got I think you can put them in a swimming class now at a couple of months old.
I'd have learned to swim if it wasn't so cold in the water. I can't stand to be cold.
Right.
So just deer hunting, that's all you do, huh?
This time of year, it's about deer hunt work.
Yeah. Does you go where you deer hunt at?
On mainly on my place.
How many acres you got?
I've got 60 where I'm at.
Quite a bit, isn't it? You grow anything?
No. Deer?
No tomatoes?
No. No. Need to start, but
Hey, do you ever go out? Do you go when you're out on Lamontville Road? Do you ever go past where they've got that little fruit stand on the side of the road? You know what I'm talking about?
is it out towards the golf course area?
Nope, way before then. It's like at the campground, like the campsite, RV site.
No.
What's the name of that RV site?
The first one?
Yep.
Rogers Creek?
Rogers Creek. Yeah, they got that stand there.
I haven't noticed that. I'll have to go.
Yeah, they opened it up and right at the beginning of summer, and they closed it about, like a month ago.
Okay.
There's nowhere to buy anything up there, is there?
No, I remember the days of the store being operational, and it was
I
nice
remember
to have it
going
right
in there, but did they sell gas up until the end?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the tanks are still there. I always wondered about
I
that.
assume. I've never seen them dig them up. I may be wrong, but he had a big kerosene tank out there. I remember it. It's gone, but
I guess they could put gas on above ground tanks, maybe. But I just wondered if you could make enough money there by opening that up. I mean, what would you sell? Milk and bread?
you
can't make any money off milk and bread.
No, he had everything in there though. I remember he had nails. He sold nails. He had
Rope? He'd have rope, too,
carousels.
wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
Wonder how he packed. What was his name? You remember?
it was a Purdy. Mac Purdy.
You ever go to Nip and Sip?
No. No, I'd never been down there. But that Lamontville store, I hated to see it shut down. It was
Yeah, did you know Stanley Judd or any of them?
the sawmill.
No, the Nip and Sip.
Oh no, I don't know.
None of them. So, yeah, if you're there, where do you grocery shop? Or where's your wife grocery shop? She come into Cleveland or hits the interstate and goes to
Right,
Publix or something?
right. That's about the only option. There's the pig. We'll go to the pig every
How
now
long
and
is
then.
it, if you're at your house, does it take you longer to get to Publix or the Piggly Wiggly in Charleston?
Publix. I'm about 15 minutes from Athens or Cleveland from where I'm at.
Piggly Wiggly's got too many generic foods, don't they?
Yep.
Pretty good buffet though at lunch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we eat there.
Yeah.
We eat there quite a bit too.
Boy, if you go in there around 8 o'clock at night, they'll give you everything left.
Will they?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for like nothing.
Really?
They're just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Maybe more like 8:30 or something. Because I've had to stay at those apartments a while. That's where everybody goes. They go there and eat.
Right.
But they keep it so cold in there.
It is cold in there.
I don't know why they keep it so cold in there. It's like you can hang meat in there.
Mhm.
I believe they'd do. I believe they'd have more customers if they'd turn if they keep it about 4 degrees warmer.
Right. No, it was big to get them to come in there. It gave us somewhere else to eat. So I
Yeah.
was
Let's see, what was there before that? Was it IGA?
Eric's
that-
IGA,
Yeah.
and then before that was Watson's.
Watson's. Before that, it was Cook's, I think.
I don't remember back that far.
I remember
Watson's.
friends of mine used to bag groceries there. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
They had grocery baggers and everything.
Well, you talk to the old people around town. You know, before the interstates came through. From my understanding, Cali and Charleston were hopping.
Oh, yeah.
There was 4 or 5 gas stations, and
There was a motel on the way on North Lee Highway on the left. I don't know what, I guess that's where the flower shop is now, somewhere around in there. It was an old stage, like a, what do they call those? Like a motor lodge or something like that.
yeah, huh? I've heard.
And they had the Sonic there for a while.
Mhm.
I reckon somebody's cooking meth in there or something.
It's gone completely now. Have you been by there?
Yeah, I think the credit union's going there is what I heard. You heard
Olin's.
that?
I've heard Olin. Yeah, Olin's.
I know
Credit
they were looking for somewhere.
But man, you talk about looking different. Charleston looks a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
different with that thing going.
Yeah. But you do know Carl, right? His
Yes.
office is right behind there.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know him very well?
not very well, but I've met him a time.
He's
or
a
two.
real nice guy.
He seems to be.
Well, he was partners with Randall Fisher for a long time. They were partners.
Oh, really?
Those apartments there in Charleston that he owns, Randall built those.
Okay. I never did meet Randall. The guy that bought his business, Tim Mabe, was the one I met.
Yeah,
Knew.
I knew Randall my whole life till he died.
Everybody says he was a great guy.
He was a great guy, a good builder and everything. And he'd go to the Cherokee restaurant every morning at 6 o'clock on the nose every morning. I think his wife and daughter's still living, I believe. But yeah, I think that we think about Vocker. It's good for Cleveland and stuff, but I'll bet you there's as many people from Riceville and Athens that work there as do here.
Right.
And they're not all, unless if you live on like East Annalee or Estanale. Eastonale. If you live over in that area, you're not going to hit the interstate to come there. It's just,
Right.
I don't think, would you?
I would. But
You'd come down 411, you'd take a right after you cross the bridge,
be there.
and you'd be there. So that's going to be the big traffic thing,
Right.
unless they stop making solar panels.
Right. I don't see that happening.
I don't either.
I've heard a lot of these guys signing contracts with these solar panel companies to acres worth of them.
I saw something where some guy had invented something that was as thin as a human hair that was getting as much solar out of it. That's what scares me, somebody coming up with something in their garage, and
That's right.
I mean, it can happen.
The technology is evolving like crazy. We'll go buy a computer, a printer, or something, and a year and a half have trouble out of it, and well, it's obsolete by then. So
Well, mine will go bad since you said that. What do you think will be the big future? I mean, just in your window here, you're reading water meters from your phone, and you're checking the water level for 1,200 customers
right,
from your phone, and you could stop it or overflow it, and that's just in 3 years.
right. Yeah, that's
Now, would you have thought that when you went to work there 10 years ago? Would you have said, oh, one day we'll be able to tell how much water's in there from my phone?
absolutely not. No,
When did they start having phones? Besides the flip phone, when did that come out, Gwen? About, would you say?
99, 2000.
That's just 24 years.
no,
And then
it's amazing
it is.
what's happened.
What do you think will happen next?
I'd be afraid to say. I don't.
I mean, what could it be?
that you think that, and then they come up with something else. You know.
I mean, what could it be?
Which, I mean, from a utility, just said, we're still a little behind the times. I know Cleveland Utilities, you can kind of look at your phone and tell your usage now, at this exact moment. Stuff,
Yeah, you couldn't in 2001.
No, I mean, we still don't have that kind of technology
Yeah.
employed yet, but hopefully one day.
I don't know what can happen, but if you can imagine it, I mean, could we have said in 1998, hey, in 10 years, everybody will have a phone with them, and you'll be able to check your heart rate out,
Right.
and you'll be able to send a picture to Alaska and back during a TV commercial.
I know.
You'd have said you're crazy.
It's amazing what's going on. What's advancements. I hope it's medical. I hope the next big thing is.
I think it will be.
I hope that's
like
what it
a
is.
Neuralink or something.
Yeah, something.
That's the only place I can see that it can go.
Right.
Because it really can't go in housing. It just is what it is unless they get some kind of mass production small houses, which we know you could do that if you wanted to.
Right.
But I don't know what else. I guess it'll be, everybody will be in the self-driving. You'll get in your car and say, head home, and it'll just drive you home.
Which I think they've got those now. Don't
Yeah,
they? I mean,
so that's really not even that forward of thinking.
Right. No, it hopefully it's medical. Hopefully they can get a grip on cancer and some of this stuff.
Yeah, I'd like for them to get some of these people that are paralyzed that could start walking again,
Right.
or people that can't see to see.
Right. You would think it would be possible with what they can do.
And maybe it is, and they hadn't told us.
Right.
I mean, they've been working on cancer forever.
Right.
I just wonder all this stuff they're calling cancer. Is it cancer? I mean, somebody can tell you've got cancer right now, and they'll scare you. They'll scare you till you die.
I'm a borderline conspiracy theorist, so I don't.
I am too. I think it's fun, don't you?
It's interesting. It's a lot of it lines up. If
You think there's UFO or aliens?
No, I don't know that I think there is, but
You think it's a parallel universe
Maybe
of some
wrong.
sort, maybe?
possibly.
Maybe a simulation?
Sometimes I wonder on that one.
I wonder on that one too. Too many weird things.
Right, yeah. It's interesting.
You ever notice like this past 2 weeks, everybody I've dealt with, his name was Jay. I mean, like 15 people, Jay. And next 2 weeks, it'll be another name will be the thing.
Right.
And they're not all the same age. A lot of times you'll see a guy named Hunter, and he was at that age where there's naming them all Hunter. But these people are not all the same age.
That's what I was going to ask you, if they're the same age. It seems like
No.
Seems like you can about age somebody off their name.
And what's funny is I'll call one. I'm dealing with a Jay Floyd, a Jay McCoffin, and 3 other Jays. I can't even remember their last name. But it's is that a coincidence? Because they're not the same age.
Right.
And I'll even do this. I'll even start talking about a town somewhere in another state, and somebody will, within 2 or 3 days, they'll say, so-and-so's from that state that I hadn't even thought, hadn't connected nothing.
Right. It's about as bad as your phone. We have a conversation about something and
Oh, yeah. I'll say, what was it happened yesterday? I was telling somebody that I didn't like bananas. I can't stand bananas. And I've had 20 banana commercials. Bananas splits, bananas this, bananas that. And then when I was going to my mom's at lunch, I noticed on a Chick-fil-A sign, it said, get a banana split. So it's not just the phone.
right.
So it makes you wonder if the simulation's running out of themes or something.
It makes you wonder. I try not to think about it too much.
Did they have FFA or when you was there at Walker Valley?
They
or
did.
anything? What was that like?
I wasn't in it.
What'd
So-
you take?
I took the basic classes. I was on the, I forget what path, the technical path. So I had a lot of work-based learning and stuff like that.
Like what was the technical path?
It was just I would have 1 or 2 periods of work-based. I got to leave early every day and I had to report to a job. And it was more basic stuff. I didn't have to take the algebras and all that.
Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to work?
After I got out of high school,
I mean, no, when you left there saying I was going to work, where'd you go to work?
I was working for a lawn care company up in Athens at the time. I would help them, and I did my own little lawn care thing on 2 or 3 days a week. So,
Wouldn't you rather just stayed in school where it's cooler?
no, I wouldn't. School never was my thing.
You never had algebra?
Well, yeah, I had the basic, the algebra 1, but you didn't have to get into all that deeper.
No geometry or nothing?
No geometry or trigonometry or anything like that.
Just about everything you can learn to the 4th grade.
Right,
And
Right.
plus a little algebra.
right.
So you never thought about being a doctor or lawyer or nothing?
No, sure didn't.
Did you make good grades in school or anything?
I got by. It was all right. I graduated anyway.
No sports? You were like me, you just worked.
That's right.
That's what I did. I quit. I left Bradley. I'd leave at 2:30, and I had a what they called study hall, and you just lift.
Yeah,
So I did that every day. I built houses with my uncle.
really.
Yep. Every day.
School was always rough for me. Sitting there for 8 hours a day. Never was my thing.
Well, I don't like having homework that they give you. I mean, if I'm going to learn it, let me learn it at my own pace instead of giving me a workbook to answer the questions that are in the back of the book anyway.
Right.
I mean, you're going to look at the answer in the back of the book.
But Walker Valley was nice they had just started cycling. I don't know if they do it now, but they had a cycling class. They just started it.
You mean motorcycles or?
No, it was mountain biking.
Oh, mountain biking, yeah.
That made the day go by quicker.
Yeah.
A period of that. And then
What'd they do? Let you go mountain biking for an hour? Mm-hmm. Where at?
they had a little track out there by the football field. And then the guy that owned the farm across the road, that big farm, would let us come over there.
Is that Robert Wright? Was that the time? Or Steve Wright, maybe?
I don't know. That don't sound right. It was
So, well, that's an odd class, isn't it?
made the day go by fast though.
Yeah.
Simpson, that's who it had.
Simpson, Claude, yeah.
That big farm that was
Yeah.
across the road from
Yeah.
him. It was huge. We would go over there and ride.
You don't ride bikes now, do you?
Mountain bikes.
or road bikes or anything? I ride road bikes. I've wondered what it would be like to ride from here down Lamontville Road to like the golf course and back. I wonder if there'd be, because people don't go that fast down there, though, really, do they?
There's just nowhere to get off that road.
There's nowhere to get off the
That's the
road.
only
There's
thing.
no shoulders or
No,
nothing.
not at all.
That probably wouldn't, but I'd like to try it. I wonder how those little hills would seem if you was riding a bicycle.
I'd say they would send you.
Because
on.
I've seen people riding it before, but
We used to, the hill right there on Lauderdale above Walker Valley High right there, we would take those bikes and they had the speedometers and everything on them. And you could hit 30 miles an hour, which is on a mountain bike. That's,
on a mountain bike, that's
moving.
fast.
Yeah.
I hit 43.4 on my bike
wow.
and going down the hill. And boy, if you hit a pine cone or something, or a squirrel, or an acorn,
Right.
or half flat. But that's funner than hunting. I say I don't like to kill animals,
Right.
so that would bother me.
I don't kill a whole lot of animals. I like the. I
You
just,
eat them?
Well, yeah, if we kill one, we do. But
Do you dress it yourself and then put it in the freezer? Where's your freezer at? In your garage or what?
my laundry room.
Is it a big one?
Yeah. Yeah. The older I get, the less I kill. The more I just
So does
Go out
it
there and
last a
watch.
long time?
season.
The meat?
Yeah.
If you kill one, it lasts like a whole. Who cut? You had to take it somewhere and have them dress or cut it up.
You can. I do a lot of mine. Well, I make a lot of beef jerky, or not beef jerky, but venison jerky.
But a slaughterhouse can actually slice it.
Yeah, I take them sometimes to the slaughterhouses, and sometimes I'll just do it at home.
They say the slaughterhouses are backed up, like it takes a month or something.
They were almost a year out at one point during COVID. At one point they were, because we have a beef killed about once a year.
Can you imagine taking a cow and saying, "When can I have this?" Oh, we'll have it ready for you in 1 year.
Well, you would just have to get an appointment, and then they would tell you a date to bring it, and it would be a year out from there. So
Well, how would you keep it?
you just,
Oh, you'd have to. You didn't kill it yet,
right, you just kept it alive.
so you're in luck. We
But it
can't
was
get in.
kind of a fallacy on all that because everybody was going to every butcher shop around, getting on their list, and it finally caught up, I think, to where everybody was, because
Well, they
you might
didn't.
go to.
They didn't used to. There used to be butcher shops or slaughterhouses, a lot of them. And so they don't. I reckon that's a lost trade. Nobody know how to do it.
That's right.
You ever see that guy on TV that does those dirty jobs, films up?
Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you were 20 and you watched all of his episodes, you could figure out how to make a living getting into something that I always wondered septic tanks would be a good thing to get into.
Right.
It wouldn't be that dirty. You could wear gloves and a mask and
Right.
everything. And who's to say if you didn't do it, they're not going to check you.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think we're going to see a major shift probably in my lifetime anywhere, to where the blue collar jobs and those kind of jobs are the ones that they're going to be paying well. And
Unless technology does away with them too somehow.
right.
Like what would kind of technology would have? Well, like electric cars, they're not going to have radiators. See, when I was growing up, there was a radiator shop every so often. Everybody had a radiator. They'd say, "Who's your radiator man?" If you opened up a radiator shop now, they'd think you're crazy.
Right.
Then they become disposable on them. And now that these electric cars are about like a toaster, there's nothing to go wrong with a toaster.
About like the appliance guys that used
You know
to
those
fix
electric cars, those steering wheels, they don't have any cables or connected to anything.
them. All computer.
Yeah, you're just going like this.
That's crazy.
And it just makes you think you're steering.
I had an issue on my vehicle, and I thought it was the throttle cable, and I got informed that they don't have throttle cables anymore either.
And this is not an
It's-
electric car.
No, this is just a regular vehicle.
So you thought my throttle cable's messed up.
Yeah,
They said,
so-
hey, that thing's just making you think you're
A
pushing.
sensor
something."
here and a sensor here that tells it, there's no actual connection. I said, wow.
You know, that's why I'm thinking electric cars there's not much left except the combustion engine.
Right.
Why would you want to have a small explosion in front of you
Right.
1,000 times?
Right.
How is that safer than plugging in something? There's just no way that's not going to be everything.
No, it's coming. I think it's.
What about the tractors? Wonder if tractors will be electric. Hey, have you ever ridden in one of those Teslas?
I haven't.
Oh, man.
They say they're amazing.
It's
I've
like
heard.
being in a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you're here and now you're there.
Right.
When they hit it in that plaid mode,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the car lowers itself to go faster.
Really.
I mean, that's something, isn't it?
That's something. Yeah, that's.
I think that what we're going to have is robots. I think it'll be robots that are just sitting here, and I'll say, get me and Tyler a cup of coffee,
Right.
because they got them now with their 5 fingers.
Oh yeah. I wonder how you charge all this stuff. That's.
Well, they just say, hey, well, just like you do with those little vacuum cleaners that
Mm-hmm.
vacuum on the floor.
Right. I just, the power grid and,
Oh, yeah.
You take a family with 4 or 5 electric vehicles and 2
Well-
robots, and
Well, I had Tim Henderson here one day, and he said they just couldn't handle it.
I
all.
watched the discussion.
Yeah,
with
he
Tim
said
Henderson.
they couldn't. There was just, and I hadn't thought of it. So I wonder how they will do that. I mean,
don't
what
know.
do they upgrade? You probably have as much knowledge about how complicated his job can get
Right.
as anybody.
Right.
I mean, you're not running the same thing, but you know the concepts.
Right. Yeah, he's got a lot on him.
I don't know how. I think it'll. I think you'll just pull up to what would be a gas station, and they'll just change out your battery,
Some
and
kind
you'll
of-
be on your way.
like a propane tank. Just
Yeah, I think they'll just
$30
pull it out
change.
like an air filter and say,
yeah,
"You ready to go, D?"
take that one and charge it.
Yeah,
and
and they'll
sell
charge
it
it.
to the
They'll
next
say, "We charge this type of battery."
guy. You may be right.
That's quicker than pumping gas,
Right. Yeah.
and pumping gas can blow up.
Right. No, I look forward to the electric stuff.
You ever
but
wondered if you're pumping gas if you're really getting that much?
yes, all the time.
And you ever notice those signs will say 269, then 279 if you don't have the rewards card, 269, 279. I never liked that idea. It needs to just be one price,
Right.
and I've noticed Walmart doesn't ask you for a rewards card. They're just giving you as low price as they can, and that's it.
Right.
Because I don't want to save reward points and all of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, why should they have 2 prices? To me, that's discriminating against the people that don't have the card with
Right.
them, or people that forgot their card.
I noticed that about Love's. They've got 2 or 3 different prices on their sign out
It's
there.
almost like a carnival trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, why can't it just? I never could figure that out. But if you want to have reward points for a credit card, that's different. They can.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than being at the pump. There
Right.
shouldn't be any different price. But they've all got it, man.
Yeah, they do.
So, what else is going on? I'll be glad when. I hate to see winter coming, don't you? Fall.
Yeah, I do.
I like
I'm ready
hot
for it
weather.
to cool. Well, I'm ready for it to cool down. I hate to see full on winter though. I like this weather. Last week or so has been pretty nice,
It's been really nice. But
which is supposed to warm back up.
But yeah, what's it supposed to be this week?
80s last I saw. Low 80s.
I've noticed that about the 3rd week in September, because you can wear shorts again.
That's right.
But the last week in October, you'll get sick.
Mm-hmm. I've always heard if you don't like the weather in Tennessee, give it 3 days. It'll be different.
Wait a minute. That's true. I'm looking online in Death Valley. You know what the temperature is like right now?
No telling.
Like 91. no rain, they get 0.015, 15 tenths or something like that of rain. That's like none.
Right. That's why they call it Death Valley.
I mean, yeah. But I like it dry heat. It's like a 4% humidity.
Right.
That's where I'm going to move one day when I get rich.
What state is that in?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Part of it's in Nevada and part of it's in California.
We went out to Montana, Bismarck, North Dakota.
What's it like?
3 or 4 years ago. Well, we went in the dead of winter. It was negative 50 at night, maybe 0 in the heat of the day.
What did that feel like?
Well, it was, what I was getting at was, we spent a week up there, and it was cold. I mean, obviously, it's cold, but we'd come back here, and I hadn't been here a day, and we had a bad water leak. Of course, it was dead of winter, and it was, I think it was 31, 32 degrees here, but it was humid. And I got colder standing here on the side of the road than I ever got up there in it negative 20,
Well, that's what I
negative
was
30.
saying. How did it feel? Because it's just not the same
It's not-
cold, is
yeah,
it?
no.
It's not to the bone or something.
That's right.
Here it's to the bone.
Right.
It can take you an hour to warm your feet up.
Right. It's a damp cold here, and
damp
it's just cold there. I mean, it's
And then there, it was, when I went to Arizona here 3 weeks ago, and it was, 93, 94. And if you had any sinuses here, you didn't have them there after about a day or two.
Yeah.
It would just dry you right up.
right. Yeah, there's this humidity, and all this wild nature we have around here. It's
You know, I
really
noticed
fun.
after I was there for several days, though, it started feeling like I'd been, you know how you take Benadryl for a few days and it really stops you up,
Right.
and you've taken it longer than you should. I think it could start to have a too dry of an effect.
Well, that's one of the worst sinus infections I've ever had. We went to Las Vegas, and it done something to me after about 3 or 4 days of being there. So dry.
It's just too dry. And
Yeah.
maybe that we're not used to
I
it.
think that's it. I'd say if they came down here, they'd be with some same complaints, but it was dry.
I went to Las Vegas in the dead of the winter one time, and got a car and drove out to Red Canyon. I think it was named Rock Canyon or Red Canyon, and you could not stay out of your car more than 2 minutes. I mean, it was so cold. If you'd have had car trouble and nobody came by, and you'd have died.
Right. We thought about that a lot on that road trip we took, because you get out there and drive all night long, and you might see 3 or 4 cars,
Oh yeah,
and everything closes
that's
down.
scary, isn't it?
It is.
And if you do see a car, you gotta wonder.
Right. But no, that crossed my mind several times. It'd be negative 40 degrees and hadn't seen a car in 2 hours, and you're driving on a 2-lane road at 85 miles an hour, and you're thinking,
Death Valley is where they used to send all the convicts, escape people used to go, because the law wouldn't follow them into there, because it was so hot. And that's how they get away.
right.
I reckon it's kind of low too, evidently.
Right.
It just captures the heat, and by the time the rain comes, it dissipates all out.
We drove through the Badlands up South Dakota, and it was pretty cool.
What was it like? Flat or
It's
what?
it's what I would consider. When you say Death Valley, it's what I have pictured in my mind. It's just flat and dry and piles of rocks. I mean, there's just it don't look like there's any life there. I'm sure there is, but
Well, I went out there and drove to Area 51.
did you?
Yeah.
Did you get in?
Nope. They won't let you in. They don't want you even over there.
Right.
But those mountains are so far away. I mean, you can just drive. You can drive for an hour, and the mountain's not even any closer.
Right. That's how it is out that way.
It's unbelievable. I wonder if somewhere like the Sahara Desert, where's the hottest place in the world? Does that be the Sahara Desert or
Yeah, I guess. It's more close to the equator, I would guess.
I like Iran and Iraq.
Hmm.
I'd be afraid to go there. It'd say,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go
you've
there.
got a podcast, you're a spy.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'd be begging for my life.
Right. Yeah, wouldn't want to go there.
Have you ever heard of the theory that the the magnetic poles are going to flip?
Hmm.
To me, that's scary.
Right.
That's about the scariest thing I've ever.
Well, the theory is they do it every so many thousand years or something. Is that
And it does it at once.
all at once?
And
right?
that's what explains there used to be trees in the Sahara Desert, and
Mhm.
that's why they found seashells in the Mississippi River.
Right. That's the theory for the farmland out west too, isn't it? Everything kind of shifted
Yeah,
to the all that.
and it happens all at once.
Hmm.
And see, if you're going on this climate change, I can't follow that, but I can follow it starting to shift
Right.
because we know a magnet flips.
That's right. That's a scary thought.
That's the scary because you can prove that in real time.
I don't know that we'd ever know anything happened if that did happen, but
No,
it would be violent and sudden, I would say. So.
yeah. Wouldn't have time to say forgive me.
No, it's I don't know.
When you're out in Lamont, where do you get gas at? And where's the best place to get gas in Charleston?
I usually go through I call it it's the Jiffy's in Calhoun. It's always going to be the Jiffy. I think it's
Yeah.
actually called
It's the green gas station, I call it.
right.
Yeah. Because they don't bother you there. You're just in and out. They don't do nothing. You
Right.
just get gas and you're gone.
Right.
You ever go under the bridge there in Calhoun and get a biscuit in the morning from that
every
gas
morning.
station?
Every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
What time are you there?
About 8.
They got good biscuits.
Mm-hmm. Good coffee.
I don't much like their coffee.
Really.
It's that community coffee, isn't it? Community or something like. Yeah, it's a little grainy for me. I get it anyway.
Right.
But they make you put your jelly on it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They won't. At Calfee's, they'll put the jelly on for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because my hands are dirty by the end of it. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah. But they're nice in there.
Oh, yeah.
They got good fountain drinks and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good little store.
That place has been there forever. I don't reckon the bathroom works at all, does it?
I've heard that they're going to renovate it and make like an actual sit-down deli type deal.
They don't have any room.
Well, that's only about half the building that they're using. If you'll pay attention next time you go in there, that building's about twice as big as what it is.
Well, but isn't some inspector going to say, well, now that you're renovating this, you have to have a handicap bathroom that's 7 by 8?
I'm sure.
Where are they going to put that?
Right.
And they're going to say, we have to do that. You're going to have a septic tank. They're going to say, where is this septic tank? Oh, it's under this concrete here. So it
Right.
just ain't going to work.
Right.
They just might as well sell biscuits.
I'd like to see it work. I hope it does.
I've noticed if you get there a hair late in the mornings, the biscuits are browner.
Mhm.
I think they get in a rush sometimes in the morning.
Mhm.
But they're friendlier than the people who used to be there.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. You get there, about what time do you get there?
9:15,
Okay.
something like that. So it's a little.
Yeah.
They've warmed up a little bit.
Right.
They have lunch.
They do.
What do they have?
They have all kinds of. They have hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries.
I haven't ever eaten there for lunch.
It's
How
good.
about the Mexican restaurant? They still open?
They are.
Well, they got some hot sauce
Yeah.
there.
They've got good food. That
I
one's.
went there with some real Spanish speaking Mexicans,
Mhm.
and they talked to the people but they run a real clean operation.
They do.
It's when you look at it outside, you say, well, but it's clean.
Yeah, that's some of the best food.
I feel like it's real Mexican.
It is. Out of all the Mexican restaurants around, I believe that one's. I mean, Athens and Cleveland included. I think that's some of the better food.
And then you got the Subways, which is okay, isn't it?
Yeah, out of $15 sandwiches.
Yeah, anymore, isn't that something?
Yeah, I don't.
Have you ever thought somebody could just start making sandwiches out of their house and probably make a living?
Oh yeah.
If they're getting $15 for that,
Right.
and I'm not sure if it's as fresh as it used to be. Yeah, I get
Right.
a little funny feeling after when I eat their bread, feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah.
And that's not like it if I just eat regular.
Right. I very rarely eat Subway. I like the Willie's.
Yeah, I like Willie's, but takes a little complicated. But yeah, they got good chili, don't
They
they?
do. Yeah.
And good hamburgers.
I haven't had anything from there I thought was bad. I don't guess. Not everything I've
No?
had's been good.
No. Have you ever go out to Haney's there?
Yeah, I've been a time or two.
They got those little school pizzas.
Yeah. The corn dogs.
Corn dogs, yeah.
Big,
Wonder where they get all that stuff.
I don't know, but that's who supplies the Jiffy,
Oh, is that right?
from what I understand. Yeah. So you can buy
Yeah,
you
which
can get
Haney?
biscuits from them and everything.
Well, you can get, those biscuits they sell at Piggly Wiggly, I think are the same biscuits that they sell at that store in Calhoun.
Okay.
I believe they are.
Do you eat breakfast at the Piggly Wiggly?
No, but they got, if you're going by there, you can get a biscuit
Right.
because but they give you that big styrofoam plate.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I going to do with that big styrofoam box?
Right.
So I have OCD, so I can't have a problem with that.
Right.
I like just one wrapper and throw it in the
Right. Throw
bag.
it away.
But if I eat breakfast too late, it ruins my lunch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm in there about every morning.
In
About 8
Calhoun.
o'clock. Yeah.
So you come from there and you go under the bridge just to that store.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit out of the way.
Yeah.
What kind of biscuit do you
A
get?
couple 100 yards. Whatever they've got.
You
Usually,
got egg and sausage or what?
if sausage, egg, and cheese is what I prefer, but
Well, they're real eggs over
yeah,
there.
sometimes they don't have them.
Are they sisters?
I don't know.
I've wondered if they're sisters because they get along real well.
Yeah. Oh, they're super nice.
Oh, yeah.
That store's a big part of that community.
Well, they took a while there. I mean, how long have they owned it, these new people?
What's it been, 5 or 6 years?
Not 10, nothing
No.
like that.
I'm trying to think of what it's actually called.
I don't even know what it's called. I just know you pull in there, or if you don't, if I pull in there, I'm slowing down enough not to get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
So you pull in there so you'll stop and restart.
Right. Local Mart, maybe. Something. I don't know what they're called. That's going to drive me crazy.
It's marked something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Quick Mart.
Maybe.
Quick Mark or something like that.
As long as I'm alive, it'll be Jiffy. I don't care what it,
Yeah,
I don't care what it's called.
right. So, and the gas pumps are a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about enough time to go in and get a biscuit.
That's right. Yeah,
You have a company truck?
I do.
That helps, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you about got to have in our business. It's phone can ring at any minute.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
gotta
you gotta
have
go.
it.
You gotta
Plus,
go.
you gotta, whatever car you're in is the car you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your stuff with it.
Right.
That's why I see policemen, they ought to be able to drive their car home. That's where
That's right.
they got all their stuff here, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to share that stuff
It really is.
with somebody else.
All right, anything else? I'm going to go home and watch a movie. Wonder what movie would you get tonight? I'm thinking about watching a movie. I don't know
A
what
movie?
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot on the Mendez brothers on Netflix.
Oh, I don't have Netflix.
Okay.
How much is Netflix?
Lord, I don't know.
Like $8 a month or something?
Yeah, it's not much.
So you watch, or are they redoing the trial?
Look,
Or
they're
just
probably going
documentary?
to. They're probably going to. They've got a whole new movement now about the guys about they were sexually abused.
Yeah, that's what
allegedly, and there's a whole new movement coming about now where everybody wants them retried because they weren't.
Well, if you killed your parents, they didn't just give you a curfew.
Right.
It was a big deal.
Right.
You got to say
Right.
something was going on, or it didn't happen. Or
Right.
they're crazy. One of the
That's
three.
We've watched it from about 3 different points of views on different shows, and finally last week one came out with the actual brothers.
So
Were
what do
interviewed
you?
from jail.
So you're watching it. So it talks about the sexual stuff on the documentaries. I can't watch that stuff. It
Yeah.
drives me
Oh,
crazy.
it's rough.
I can't watch
It's hard
that.
to watch.
I'm thinking about watching Hunger Games. I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
That neither.
You seen it, Gwen?
Great.
Good series like.
Yes. Straight right through.
That's what I'm gonna watch. All right, buddy. I'm
Hungry.
hungry. Hey, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.